light and crispy fried chicken bites.
Ladies and gentlemen, and kitchen adventurers, welcome back to our hometown food Malaysian's cooking series, episode 2. I'm thrilled to have you join me for episode 2, where we will taking a flavorful dive into the world of complex spices with a twist perfect for the whole family. Introducing our mouth-watering complex spices fried chicken for kids. Now, I know what you're thinking. Complex spices for kids? Trust me, we have cracked the code to create a dish that's both bold in flavor and kids approved for my son. Imagine the aromatic dance of spices, which is Malaysians normally like it, and the golden perfection of the crispy fried chicken that have your taste buds doing a happy dance. We are bringing the heart and soul of Malaysian Chinese cooking to your kitchen in Sydney, making it an experience the whole family can enjoy together. Without further ado, let's get started to cook this fantastic dish.
First step, let's prepare and season the chicken. To get started, we will need 1.5 chicken tenderloin cut into slices. Reason being for the bite size later. My secret ingredient here is okonomi sauce. It's a type of quite similar to Worcester sauce, but is far sweeter and less saltier than the Worcester sauce. This is because Worcester main ingredient and the source of its powerful umami flavor is anchovies, while okonomi sauce main ingredient is date. So we are using half teaspoon of okonomi sauce for the seasoning. Next ingredient is half of teaspoon of minced garlic. If you like the flavor of dry garlic, you can swap it with the powder format of garlic powder. Next ingredient is optional for any one of you. If you have nut allergy, I'm using some dash of nutmeg powder. Next up, on our Malaysian spices twist. Of course, it can't be without this delicious cumin powder. A quarter teaspoon cumin powder will do. The cumin taste is earthy, woody, nutty with herb-like taste. My next secret Malaysian spice blend is the curry powder. We are using quarter teaspoon of curry powder, which is mild, not hot and spicy. This will not only add a fantastic kick of flavor, but also give the chicken a beautiful golden color when fried. Mix and coat all the chicken thoroughly. Let's add on some greens using half-stalk chopped spring onions. I'm using this long of the spring onion. You might also able to replace it with some spinach or some sort of other greens if you like. Next seasoning ingredient is this Japanese honey miso. We are using half teaspoon honey miso, which is Japanese fusion. This marinade contains honey, which will make meat more tender and succulent. Golden honey gives a distinct flavor as it caramelizes, give a really delicious crispy coating later on the chicken. Next up, sesame oil, some dash of sesame oil that I always use in my Malaysian cuisine. You can replace sesame oil with olive oil if you are allergic to sesame. Oils help the meat retain its moisture while deep fry or cooking, resulting in a juicier finished product. Alright, let's move on to the exciting part, which is the breeding station. We're using 1 egg. I'm adding on half teaspoon of mayonnaise into the egg. This will add a creaminess and rich taste to the eggs for the egg wash coating to the chicken. Beat it, the egg together. Set it aside. Next, in separate bowl, mix the 2 teaspoons of wholemeal flour and 1 teaspoon of corn flour. Ratio is 2 versus 1 and I'm using this wholemeal self-raising flour. Alternatively, you can use plain flour and mix with a little bit baking powder to replace the self-raising flour if you do not have any at home. Next ingredient is Panko breadcrumbs. Using a bowl and pour out about 1 cup of Panko breadcrumbs. Panko are Japanese breadcrumbs made from steamed, crustless loaves of bread. They are processed into flakes and then dried. Next, I'm using this sweet dry paprika powder, about half teaspoon. It's more for color and a little bit paprika smoke flavor in the crumbs. And personally, I found that Panko breadcrumb stays crispier longer than the usual breadcrumbs. A typical Panko ingredient list always contains wheat flour, yeast, oil, and salt. Alright, let's move on to cooking station. That is where we will start to prepare the frying pan with low heat. While preparing to cook the chicken at the same time, I'm using extra virgin olive oil for today's frying. You're most welcome to swap with any oil, canola oil, vegetable oils, or peanut oils. It's your personal choice. Personally, I prefer extra virgin olive oil. It's because when heated to high temperature, the oil does not degrade. More and more studies nowadays show that olive oil are the most balanced, safe, and healthier fat for both pan frying and deep frying. Now let's get back in coating the chicken. There are 3 key steps for this coating the chicken for frying. Step 1. Dredge each chicken tenderloin in the flour mixture, shaking off any excess. And step 2. Dip the chicken in beaten eggs, ensuring it is well coated. If you prefer, you can use the plate to put on the flour surface for easier to coat. Braiding chicken before frying adds a crunchier outer layer that is an unquestionable crust pizza. Luckily, it's easy to get that crunch and flavor at home as long as you follow these 3 very basic steps. There's a science behind that. Obviously, the flour creates a dry surface on the wet or moist food, and it's this dry surface that the egg will hold on to it in the next step. If you didn't coat a chicken tenderloin in flour, for instance, the egg would just slide right off the slippery chicken. This coating also keeps the food from sticking to the pan while cooking. The flour and other dry ingredients seal in moisture to prevent the food from becoming tough. This coating helps to brown the food and provides a crunchier layer. And the Malaysian spices seasoning will add more flavor to this crunchy chicken tenderloin bites. Step 3. Roll the chicken in the Panko breadcrumbs, pressing gently to adhere the crumbs to the surface. Sometimes you will feel, why doesn't my breadcrumbs stick to the chicken? There's the reasons behind that. It's because you don't start dry. The first step to braiding the chicken is crucial, making sure the chicken is completely dry, hence the reason why we need to coat with some flour first before starting the dredging process. The other option is if you don't like the flour, what you can do is using a paper towel, pat the meat dry on all sides. Excess moisture will cause the flour to get soggy or the breadcrumb will get soggy and thus will not adhere properly to the chicken. Sometimes I also do have some questions from my friends is how do you keep coating from falling off the fried chicken or the breadcrumbs? Just as important as the first patting down of the chicken surface using the breadcrumb, the final pat down of your chicken after covering it with breading helps every piece of crunchy coating adhere, making sure that you press it down the breadcrumb evenly and all around the chicken meat. After coating the chicken in the egg and breading layer, which is the breadcrumb, gently pat all sides and remove all the excess before you deep fry or stir fry. While it's not really stir fry, frying on the frying pan. Now, the critical step is to fry the chicken. Well, sometimes you will feel, how do I know when my oil is ready to fry? There are two methods that you can use. First is using the wooden chopstick. If let's say it's bubbling, yes, the oil is ready. And the method that I always use and feel that is really effective is if you hold your hand or palm over the pan while it's on top of the hot oil, not too close to the pan, you will feel distinctly warm. That means yes, the oil is ready to be fried. And get ready with all your coated chicken. And the last step is again making sure that I have all well incorporated the breadcrumbs and remove any excess that will be and put around into the frying pan itself. In home cooking process, I love to use lesser oil for frying the chicken. When frying chicken in the shallow amount of oil in the frying pan as opposed to deep frying, moving the chicken pieces around during the cooking process is essential for several reasons. Reason number one is even cooking. Shallow frying means that the oil level is not sufficient to completely submerge the chicken pieces. Moving the chickens ensure that all sides are exposed to the heat, promoting even cooking. And I always use the chopstick in the halfway of putting the chicken in, making sure that all the chicken part has the oil parts during the frying process. Reason number two is crispy exterior. Turning the chicken while frying helps achieve a crispy and golden brown exterior on all sides. The constant movement prevents any single side from becoming too greasy or soggy or overcooked. And the love that using the frying pan is a visual monitoring for this reason. Frequent turning enables me to monitor the browning process and adjust the heat if necessary. The tactic that I always use is let it cook a couple of minutes for one side and turn over using the chopstick, which is a really good method to turn around the chicken pieces one by one. It provides a visual cue to ensure that the chicken is cooking at the right pace and helps preventing burning. Obviously, the reason number three, which is preventing the sticking. Moving the chicken around prevents it from sticking to the bottom of the pan with the really little amount of olive oil that I'm using. If chicken pieces remain stationary for too long, they may be adhered to the surface, potentially tearing the crispy coating when flipped. So these are the three main reasons that why I do really flip the chicken halfway through and using your visual cue to see, yes, they are ready to flip over, or any other side that is not really cooked through or crispy enough, you always can keep turning using the shallow of the oil. Obviously, if you're using deep fried method, you don't need to worry too much in the deep fried oil basket. But for healthy reason, that we always use shallow oil, especially using olive oil to do the cooking, and this method always works perfectly for me and my family. Hear these sizzling sounds fills the air as these light and fluffy chicken bites dance in my frying pan. As a golden brown coating creeps up, the exterior becomes a textural masterpiece that's a feast for both eyes and the taste buds. Okay, chicken is ready. Turn off the heat, drain oil, and transfer the fried chicken to a plate lined with paper towels to drain any excess oils. Or you can use the one-side tilt method that I'm using currently, is making sure that the excess oil lifted through first in the frying pan before I transfer over into paper towel. You may serve this delightful Malaysian spices complex flavor bite-sized chicken tenderloins as a tasty appetizer or snacks for your kids. Well, I'm planning to use this recipe for my upcoming school lunch box for my son. The only reason that I hope is it won't be soggy when it put into the lunchbox, hopefully. And there you have it. Light, crispy, Panko breaded chicken tenderloins with a delightful Malaysian spice twist. Perfect for a quick and flavorful meal. If you enjoyed this recipe, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more culinary adventures. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Hometown Food Cooking Malaysian series. Don't forget to click on the notification bell because I'm going to post the next episode every week on Saturday, 8 p.m. Australia time. Yum. Want to try? Panko fried chicken. Okay. How many thumbs up?
I can't count it.
Wow, that's crunchy.
I can't count.
And look beautiful. Or you can click on the link below in the description box or pinned comment to check out my other playlist recipe in baking or cooking. Before we wrap up, let's quickly recap this mouth-watering recipe. We transform simple chicken tenderloins into light, crispy Panko breaded delights with a Malaysian spice twist. Season, braid, fry, and voila! A flavorful masterpiece. If you miss any steps, don't worry, just rewind, and soon you'll be savoring these crispy spiced chicken tenderloins in your own kitchen. Or you can go to hankcurry.com to print out the recipe. Thanks for joining me today. Don't miss out on our delicious recipes. Click the notification bell and subscribe to my channel for the latest culinary adventures. See you in next video.